the narcissist stare. When it comes to the saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul, when we look at it from a different point of view, the eyes are usually the window towards somebody's true intentions towards you. However, we don't always recognize these signals while we are living these signals. These are things that we're not genuinely taught in school. They're not things that our parents perhaps teach us, especially when we're raised by narcissistic parents. These are things that we learn as we grow and we develop. So when it comes to the narcissist and their stare, in the love bombing stage of the relationship, in the idolization stage of the relationship, it can be a very intense stare that we often don't recognize due to the narcissist's exploitative behavior is the narcissist duper's delight. They're getting their needs met by us. They're getting their supply met by us. They're deceiving us. They're selling us an illusion of who they are based on who we are. And we are showering them with attention and compliments and praise, which they are absolutely lapping up from us. So when they are looking deep into our eyes, it's their duper's delight as they believe they're getting away with their behavior. There's also that intense gaze, which can just make you feel a little unease, as it's their creepiness and again their duper's delight. So when they hold your gaze and it starts off being quite romantic, yet you suddenly then feel a bit something's not quite right here. Yet as they're treating you oh so well, it's very hard to listen to what our instincts are trying to tell us. Only then do we enter a phase of a devaluation where the narcissist begins to devalue who we are as a person. And then they look at us with that kind of contempt. They look at us like we are beneath them, as a narcissistic person believes that they are superior to us, believes that they are better than us. They're also looking to strip us of our confidence. So when we do something that was right previously, they can just roll their eyes at us. So we can try and start up a conversation and say, oh, what's wrong? And there'll be nothing at all. And then later down the line, they might say, oh, I'd do it like this, as they're looking to strip you of your confidence. When they're devaluing you, they've got that look of contempt because they believe that you are beneath them and that they are superior to you. They don't class people as equals. They class people as competition that they need to win. They're very envious of other people, but they set the environment to cause people to be jealous of them so that they can believe that it's other people that are envious of them. They need to stay one step ahead because it's not confidence that they have. They come on strong, seemingly confident and with that charismatic charm, but it's their grandiosity and it's their arrogance. It's the arrogance that fools us, because with a confident person, they look to help others out and raise other people up, because before we've tried anything, we don't know. We have to learn as we grow, whereby a narcissist does not want to admit that they don't know something. They want to tear everybody else down. Narcissistic people feel entitled to do as they please, and they believe that they are above you. They believe that they're special. They believe that they are superior. They're arrogant. They're grandiose. They're self-entitled. Therefore, you can just ask them a simple question and they look at you with that hostility, which conditions you to no longer question them, so that they can continue doing the things that they believe they're entitled to do And also because they don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to do the nitty-gritty of life. That's up to you, not them. They don't need to answer to you. They only have to answer to themselves. They don't need to answer to anybody else because they believe that they're entitled to do as they please. So when you try and question them, and it can be something so simple as trying to make plans for the weekend or the evening, or what they would like for tea that evening, or where they'd like to go at the weekend, and they look at you with that hostility because they simply can't be bothered with you. They can't be bothered with that nitty-gritty of stuff. You just need to crack on and deal with it and let them get on with exploiting people. When you call them out on something, when you potentially expose a narcissist, this can cause a narcissistic injury because they believe they're entitled to do as they please. This is when they can look at you with those very cold, dark eyes where there seems to be nobody home. The person that you love and care about has gone. Their body is standing in front of you, but their eyes are just sheer black, and there's that hostility and that resentment, and you don't know where to turn. You can run, or you can potentially freeze because that look is something out of this world. So when a narcissist fears exposure is often when you're going to get those blackened eyes and that dark stare from them. Narcissistic people tend to feel entitled to do as they please. So if you can have arranged to go somewhere with family, you could have asked them if they'd like to join in. And when it comes to the time, they're going to turn around and say, well, you never told me. And you can stand there feeling like you're gaslighting them, saying, yes, I did. I told you then. Can you not remember? You could have wrote it on big letters on a calendar and say to them, look, I wrote it here for you to see. This is what we were doing. Oh, you've just put that there. That wasn't there earlier. You're gaslighting me. So you find yourself defending yourself and explaining yourself to them because they didn't want to do that thing. So when they don't get their own way, they can look at you with pure hatred where you're trying to justify and explain yourself to them. And one reason a narcissistic person is good at doing this is because they will fail to tell you that they're doing something because they feel entitled to do as they please. They get a kick out of being secretive and not informing you and knowing something that you don't know because they are like a toddler in an adult's body. And then when you turn around to them and say, you never told me that, and they turn around and say, yes, I did, they also then feel special that you want them to, when really they just failed to inform you of things that are actually going to impact you. Whereas you inform them of things and they just pretend to not hear you because it's not of interest to them. When a narcissist is envious, that's often when you end up with that void in their eyes, that blank stare, usually because they're plotting. They're sat there sulking, staring out of the window, staring at the phone, staring at the TV. They're sat there sulking with that blank stare, that void, where you're just going to get one-word answers or no conversation with them because they're envious and they're feeling sorry for themselves. They're feeling sorry for themselves, and because they're envious of another person, they're seeking a way to plot against another person, which is why they've got that void there, because they're thinking about themselves and what they can do to make themselves feel better. It's the same when they want something and they don't get their own way due to that sense of entitlement. They can look at you with that pure hatred, or they can look at you with that duper's delight. They can look at you and say, oh, no problem, that's absolutely fine. Yes, you go and do that. Don't worry about me. Everything will be fine. And you can walk out on edge feeling a bit, oh, they took that surprisingly well. That's because they're plotting to get you back. That's a duper's delight. When it comes to a narcissistic person, when somebody feels threatened in some way, their pupils can dilate. So we can all have this when we've been threatened, our pupils can dilate. When you've got a narcissistic person who is feeling threatened, who is agitated, who is not getting their sense of entitlement met, who has suffered a narcissistic injury, who is in that state of anger and rage, and their pupils have dilated, this is a very dangerous place to be. This is when they can psychologically hurt you, and they can also potentially physically hurt you. So you need to find a safe way out of that situation. Otherwise, a narcissist is going to take their anger out on you because they're unable to regulate it within themselves. We can all get angry. However, the majority of us can take the responsibility for our own anger. With a narcissistic person, they're going to shift it straight back onto you. You made me do it. If you hadn't, I wouldn't. At least I hit the door and not your face. Because they don't want to take responsibility for who they are as a person. Instead, they want to blame you or blame those around them for all their mistakes, their faults, their wrongdoings. They want to rewrite it in their mind of how you deserve that punishment. Such as when a narcissistic person cheats on you and you find out, they get offended that you found out, and they won't trust you again for finding out about their disloyalty towards you. But they also rewrite it as how you deserved it in some way because you were the one, after all, that wasn't paying them enough attention. When their behaviour is on them. That's them, that's their choice. They made a decision. They acted on it. That's on them. That says more about who they are as a person than it ever will you. That says that they're untrustworthy, that they're disloyal, that they're secretive, that they're entitled, that they're arrogant, that they lack the empathy to care, than it ever will the person that they cheat on. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continuous support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a new book out, which is 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People, which is on Amazon now, and I shall link that into the video description also. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.